Sometimes the truth hurts. That's when it's most important to see it. What they're doing to Donald Trump right now in Maine, you see the news today, it's unconstitutional, it's anti-American, it's wrong. I'm doing everything I can to stand against it. I'm the only candidate in this race who has said, I will remove my name from any ballot where they remove Trump as well. But we got to open our eyes to the fact that they're not going to let this man get anywhere near that finish line. That's the hard truth. We can't fall for their trap.
Hello, family. Welcome back to another episode of Journey to Harmony. I'm your host, Richard Harmon. Today, I want to talk to you about Maine has officially removed Donald Trump from the primary ballot election for the Republican primary. Donald Trump is facing his second overall challenge to his opportunity of being elected. First, initially from Colorado, and now he's also being excluded from the poll at Maine. We know for a fact that Donald Trump has been the subject of numerous attacks over the last year and a half. He's facing 91 convictions. He has been removed by 2 states, and I'm sure there are many more to continue. When this happened initially by Colorado, I stated that there was likely to be another 10 or 12. California, Gavin Newsom, for all of his issues, he's actually stated that he is not interested in having Trump removed. But I feel like New York is almost guaranteed to have him removed. So you can have a few other states in there as well. And he's going to be facing an uphill battle right now as the powers that be do everything they can to make sure that he is not the nominee. We'll see exactly how this plays out. I'm going to play a video here. We'll watch a little bit of this. Your first time joining, please hit that like button. Also consider subscribing to the channel. And here we go.
So expect legal challenges to the extent the Trump team can challenge this decision. But of course, all it highlights also is the vastly different procedures that each of these states are arriving at in applying their own state's law. These are totally different procedural issues, whether it be in Michigan, Maine, Colorado, wherever.
And Danny, notably, Maine is not the only state to attempt this. I'm thinking of Colorado and Michigan's Supreme Court recent ruling. What does this all mean, and what happens if it makes its way to the Supreme Court?
It's almost certain to make its way to the Supreme Court. In theory, the court could decline to hear the cases. I guess that's possible, but highly, highly unlikely. But what would happen at this point is the court doesn't technically have what's called a circuit split, which usually means when the federal U.S. courts of appeals have differed on the law in different circuits. But instead, what you have is different state courts arriving at different conclusions using state law. Normally, that wouldn't be grounds for the Supreme Court to take it up. But of course, these state law decisions using their own state's election law have such massive impacts on the federal election of the president and federal law and the Constitution, so that the court is almost certain to take up these issues.
All right, NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalas on that news of the state of Maine barring former President Donald Trump for the ballot. Thank you so much.
All right, family. So you see there, once again, Donald Trump has been removed from the ballot in Maine. Once again, you can expect that this is going to continue. So my expectation, New York will be next. Minnesota will probably try that as well. A few other states, Arizona, I believe Michigan, I believe, has decided that they are not going to move forward with it. But we can guarantee that once the precedent has been sent, this is a new tactic that's going to be tried. They tried, whether it's Russia, they tried with the impeachment, they tried with different events, and it continues to ramp up. And we can see overall that Donald Trump is not going to stand back, is not going to stand down. A word from Trump previously, but we're going to see what it's like here in this coming time. Joe Biden currently is the president, and his overall approval rating is falling drastically. The overall issue at the border right now is causing some serious disapproval for his re-election campaign. Many people believe that the issue right now is going to sink his administration. You have Democratic mayors around the country who are coming out and speaking highly negative of Joe Biden as a result of the migrant crisis currently at the border. We've seen as thousands upon thousands of people who have crossed the border illegally and continue to do so. There's been word that the cartels and the likes, coyotes, are transporting people from all parts of the country, all parts of the world. They said over 170 different countries have crossed the border after paying, between $10,000 and $30,000 to get to the border. Where we're going to continue to see this as people are seeing that Donald Trump's getting closer to possible reelection. My expectation is that the overall process of those who are rushing to the border will increase at a greater pace, as people are worried that his potential reelection could stop any opportunities that they would have to get into the country. This is going to be a very interesting time frame as we look to see what happens here, and the Biden administration basically doing nothing. The Secretary of State Blinken and Mayorkas were recently gone to Mexico to speak to the Mexican president about the overall issue. They asked that they could mitigate the overall caravans that are coming in, and the Mexican president advised that in order to do that, you're going to have to send out some aid to those overall nations. So not only now are we sending out aid to places like Ukraine and the like, but also there's a possibility that places that some of these places, some of these other countries could begin receiving money as kind of like a payoff and asking people to remain in where it is that they are. So we see an overall draining of the resources of the nation. The social programs around the country are being overstrained and overburdened. We see what's going on in Chicago. We see what's going on in New York. Denver also is currently having their increase and an influx of migrants being bused there, and more and more people are going to be frustrated by this issue. Donald Trump is kind of seen as the only person who is any way interested in dealing with the issue. So the powers that be seems like they're not interested in having him to do that. So we'll see how this plays out. What are your thoughts overall on the situation? Do you feel like more states are going to try to block him? Do you think that it's going to be a problem overall if he's removed from 15 states ballots? Is that going to be a problem? It's going to be very interesting if some of those are swing states. That wouldn't be great. That wouldn't be great at all. So thank you so much for joining, and have a good day.